A Fauji home with the soul of India and style of today. I promise it is so beautiful, so elegant, looking just like a wow. Hi, I'm Amita Trehan from Bravura Spaces, and I take you through a home that's incredibly close to my heart, my parents' home. This home is a tribute to our Fauji roots. It is a collection of stories that we have collected across the time and across the country, a true blend of nostalgia and contemporary design. Come along. The prelude to a Fauji home actually starts right from the entrance. And as we enter, we have this beautiful mirror that was presented to my father from one of his regiments when he was leaving that particular station that he was leaving. And of course, there is some cane and a bamboo jali that was collected, but they came into a home when my dad was posted in the east. Every Fauji is mostly an avid golfer, and so is my father. So actually, the entrance foyer is the place where he needed space for his golf set and his golf shoes. So in this entire alcove, we created this cabinet where he has place to keep a couple of his golf sets. And of course, a beautiful live edge on special demand for him to wear his shoes whenever he comes in and out of the house. And of course, his golf hats are part of the entire entry foyer. The planning of this home changed a little bit, and the builder's plan, it was very different. We changed it to our current use. But we wanted this entire entry foyer to get as much light as possible from the windows because we do have very, very large openings. So this glass was created. Of course, we needed to have the efficiency of air conditioning was very important. A third fountain has been part of my parents' home, even their previous home, for the longest time, almost since the year 2000. So it was one detail that we were going to bring back, bring into this home, and that's how it created. So this is an entire fountain that we created, and it's actually where I think it sets the tone of the entire space, gets us the light, and the sound of water is actually quite therapeutic. So here, as we enter the living room, it is a commonly known fact that if you enter a Fauji's living room or his home, and if you were to look around, you will exactly know where all he has been posted. So welcome to his living room, which is really a collection of items and things that my parents collected over the large part of their lives that they were part of the army setup. This particular sofa is something that we saw in a design magazine, and I was still in college at that point in time. So we came back and I created all the details and got the carpenter to make it at home. Well, of course, that time there was no Bravura. So we had a carpenter who would make whatever that had to come. This entire glass table, again, completely detailed in glass, is a product of my own factory. I think most importantly, what we need to know today that even if we are building a new home, it doesn't mean that we have to throw everything that we have collected over years, because I feel even our furniture and our tables and our decor pieces, everything has a soul and it needs to be respected and looked after. So this particular sofa combination set that we have is actually that came into the family in my grandparents' home in the year 1982. It is still relevant today. And if somebody follows the whole journey of design, you know that these trends are coming back. That little detailing of wood, we have maintained it and created an entire living room which looks the way it is. Collectibles has been a very large part of my parents' life, and I would actually say it is something that has been handed over to us from generations. Let me take you to a very special piece of our home. All those Faujis out there who have been posted in the East would know that everybody comes back with a tea bush or tea root, which is something that everybody has, and every home that has served in any part of the East comes back with a tea bush. So this was a tea root that my parents found, I don't know, maybe in the late 70s. My parents at some point were posted in Jalandhar, so there's something that we got carved from Saharanpur. My mom's creativity was in the way that she put together about 3 roots of tea roots that were put in here. And this piece in brass is actually an heirloom that has been handed over to my father from my grandfather, my maternal grandfather, who got it from his commandant, who was in the British Army, who got it from his commandant. It was outside his office, my grandfather's office. And when my father took over a command of a regiment, my grandfather presented this to my father, and it has been with the family ever since. My mom and her creativity put together all these birds that she has picked up from Lagos, Nigeria. They're all done in semi-precious stone, and she created almost like a jungle that we'll so love and identify with our home. Whenever we are designing a home, we always make some changes in the builder plan to suit the needs of the family, and that is the same thing that we even did here. We did not need such a large area as the formal living area, so I created this entire wall, connected of course to the rest of the space, and this is the area that is being used on a regular basis. So this is where, the television is there. When we are together as a family, we kind of sit here, lounge around here, and that really is the heart of the whole home. A dining area, of course, we are Punjabi, so food is super important. So this dining area is used on an everyday basis. My intention always is that every part of the home needs to be utilized very efficiently. Going back to the furniture that we have here is a console which came into the house when my father was posted in Rajasthan. This is a carved piece from Bardmer, and we have a lot more furniture that I'll take you through. This entire sofa, the set of 2 chairs, and this was actually a cane sofa. My dad's had multiple postings in the East, so obviously every time there would something that would get added. So this entire thing is actually cane. After a few years, which actually means about 20 years, we decided it was still very good and we didn't want to let go of it. So I upholstered the complete thing, and now it's just very comfortable and is a place that it has taken, a lot of family events have happened here on these sofas, and we've used them very, very effectively. Also, something which comes very easily and something you can spot very easily in a Fauji home is set of settees, which is maybe a 3-seater settee and 2 single-seater settees. My mum, and this was from Kashmir, so my mum was done with them. For 20 years, she said, I've done enough of it, I want something else to be done. So, and by that time, Bravura was in place. So what I did was, I was not going to waste even one single square inch of expensive walnut wood, which is such a rarity these days. So I opened up the entire settee. It was a 2-feet settee. I opened it up, added little more wood on the 2 sides, added this entire structure at the rear, and created seating. It is actually very, very comfortable seating. It also had a table with it. So I used that piece of the table here, added some woods. The legs remained the same as what was part of the existing design, and that's how we have reinvented the entire furniture to be used and reused, and it's actually timeless. So my point here is that we don't need new things all the time. Sometimes it does happen that we get bored, but we have a solution to it, and if effectively utilized, we can actually reinvent. I wouldn't call it upcycling, because these things are way too precious and very rare to be upcycled. We just reinvent the entire thing, realign and reimagine them, and they actually become so beautiful. Of course, a lot of artifacts are a part of, I think, my entire growing up. I've seen my mum pick up so much of artifact, and she had an eye for all these things. So we have the most gorgeous pieces that make our home. I'm a self-proclaimed refurbishment queen, and I hate wasting anything. And that's what I keep telling all my clients, even if they say, we are bored, let's throw it. And I'm like, let me work on it. And I'm sure it is going to look very different from what you remember your piece to be. This particular piece, this entire cabinet was a crockery unit in my parents' earlier home. When they moved here, I got this cabinet to move in here. I have paneled it from the outside, which you will see as we move along. Added this entire glass. So two things. One, AC is very efficient. All the light from the openings goes into the corridor, which would otherwise have been very dark. And a great place because, like I said, we have a lot of accessories at home. A great place for all of this to be displayed and look beautiful. It looks beyond into the bar area, which is something that I will take you through. Created these Georgian bars for the doors to give it that little vintage retro look. Another piece that is really a treasure for the family is this walnut wood bar that we picked up, I think, in the year 1986. And this has been part of our home ever since. Something that we've all been very, very proud of all our lives. So it has some nice couple of drawers and a cabinet. The entire top is carved and we've added glass to secure it. And this beautiful piece of carving. I still remember as a child when my parents were looking at this piece and the karigar there said, almost respect, the way he requested my parents and said, sir, aap ye piece le lijiye. Ye mere father ka लास्ट पीस है जो उन्होंने बनाया था और इतनी बारीक कार्विंग आज की डेट में कभी होती नहीं है. एंड आई डू अग्री. एंड आफ्टर दैट व्हेन आई ग्रू अप एंड आई सॉ सो मच मोर ऑफ फर्नीचर, carved furniture in walnut wood, I do realize that the piece that we have here is actually beautiful, and this kind of workmanship is just not available anymore. These are our heirlooms, not only family heirlooms, I think they're heirlooms of our country, of our roots. And if we can save them, if we can celebrate them, reinvent them in whichever form and add them as part of our homes, it is going to be something that we will enjoy for the longest time. Corridors in a home are often very ignored or maybe not given as much importance as they do, but I somehow feel they need their due importance as the rest of the home. I like to make it more experiential, and my go-to is actually using a lot of artwork or photographs, which are part of our memories, part of our thoughts, and walking through a corridor which has all of this makes it very important. Added a little console with, again, one of our collectibles, makes this entire transition, from one end to the other so much more interesting. The other thing is a little technical that one can take into consideration when designing corridors is the placement of the lighting and their switches. So I like to make it in a way that if you're exiting your home, you start from switching off lights from where you're exiting and till the end, the last light gets switched off. So basically every light, and when you're entering, every light gets switched on ahead of you, and then you have an option of switching it off behind and then moving on to the next switch. It makes it very easy to maneuver and manipulate your way through, even in dark time that you may be entering your home. This entire corridor leads to the bedrooms, which we take you through. Again, my intention of furniture again is collectibles. What we have in this room is a set that my parents invested in, is from Rajasthan, a place called Barmer, which has some great wood, beautifully seasoned thanks to the heat and the temperature there, and a lovely carving, and which is a skill that is there. So that is something that all of us must explore, because as designers we also have this entire responsibility to make sure that the dying arts of our country are not just dying, and we can in some way make it relevant in today's design, make it relevant in today's time, so that which is really our history, our roots can stay on. So this room has entirely done in Barmer furniture, but of course the lighting and the way their entire place looks is so much which can really is modern. It just makes sense wherever it is. This room for one of my sisters is had to be absolute white. That is how she wanted it. This has a lot of history. We have these two chairs that are reclining, and they are at least 70 years old. And it was used to be there in my grandfather's home, and it has been with our home now for almost 45 odd years. This entire bed is actually we did that little math today, it's about 43 years old. When this, again, it came into my grandparents' home and it came into our home. When we were doing up this home, all I had to do is increase the size a little bit and just painted it white. And it looked gorgeous. This is literally the bed that my sister came when she was born. She came from the hospital, and that's the bed that she came into. And this is the bed that is her room. And she loves it immensely, and it is really part of our history as well. This is an all-white washroom, white and gold washroom for my sister's room. The link is already in the description, so in case you would like to see that, watch there. Coming along, the corridor again is also very functional. Here is where we created this entire space for shoes and a place to sit. So this becomes a great spot for whatever, you don't need to take your shoes inside your bedroom. Of course, the walls are full of memories. And move to the master bedroom. The master bed is again a room full of memories, a room full of old things that has been my parents' joy and relaxation, or their comfort. And that's a bed that has been there for the longest time with storage, of course, made by Bravura. Come again to these cane sofas. These were cane sofas. I think we've had them for almost about 35 odd years. Once my mom was so bored with them that we again completely upholstered them, and they had been like this, and they're actually so comfortable. So a home that is full of memories, full of things that you have invested in throughout your lives, and actually that gives the comfort that you need once you get home. I have nothing against the gloss. I have nothing against what's happening afresh, but I feel that whatever that we've had and used, loved all our lives, also needs to be celebrated. This entire home, we also went no false ceiling other than in the living room. All other places we have no false ceiling. These are ceiling mounted lights. Anywhere we've added little cove is primarily to hide the fire hydrant pipes that we had to kind of conceal. So we use that for little coves or accent lighting, but that's all that has been done here. And this is what makes my parents' home something that is comfort for us every time we walk in. And yeah, yet another Bravura home. Very Bravura, very comfortable. Thank you for watching, and hit that subscribe button. And for notifications, don't forget to hit the bell icon.